really don't have a whole lot for you. We did recover the vehicle in what's called Lost Nations in Hillsdale County, which is a pretty remote area, like a game area. I can't even tell you exactly. It was down by a lake, and that vehicle has been brought into our department after being processed by crime techs at the scene. And you will all get an opportunity to photograph that. It was burnt, totally burnt. It doesn't appear that there's much that we can salvage out of any use. However, the techs did process it at the scene. Still no indication that this was anything but a random incident. We're still working with the Hillsdale County Sheriff's Department assisted us at the scene because the vehicle was in it. It was found by a hunter. I don't know if I mentioned that, in the area, and a large area had been burned around the vehicle. Not too much more to offer on any suspects. We're still working with other jurisdictions to see if we can gather some leads. And we'll be working on that throughout the night. But for right now, I really don't have much else to do. There are a few things missing from the house: a TV and a couple of video games and three guns. But that's not a complete list. We don't know for sure because the family has to take a look at everything to see if they can see what else was missing.
What was the condition of the truck when the hunter found it? Was it still in flames?
No,
or?
no.
You said it was burnt inside, outside.
It's completely out. From what I haven't seen it yet, but we'll look at it shortly. It's just a piece of metal. It's the inside's totally gone.
Was that hunter? What was he doing at the time?
Hunting. Yeah, that's a hunting area, Lost Nations in Hillsdale County. It's really kind of a remote, rural area.
And again, he found that about 11 a.m. or did he find that earlier?
No, wait a minute. Yeah, about 11 o'clock, I believe. Just before I did the last news conference, I think I told you that they had just located it, yes.
You said you're not releasing the 911 tapes. What was said? What was the gist of that 911 call? How long was it at least?
I'm not going to comment on the 911.
A lot of people are scared. These guys are armed and dangerous out there.
They are armed and dangerous, absolutely. They're still out there. We don't have any leads right this minute on who they might be. So yes, they should be considered armed and dangerous. We don't have any idea on another vehicle. I mean, it's obvious they had another vehicle involved. We have nothing on it.
At this point, do you think they're local, at least from where they were from, where the vehicle was dropped off?
All I can say is whoever dropped that vehicle had to be familiar with that area. And that's obvious because that's a remote area. And somebody just not around here wouldn't know to take that truck down there and dump it. So somebody was familiar.
You're working with other jurisdictions. Do you think it was so violent that this is the first time they did it, or they had to have done this before?
We're not sure. We're still, like I say, we're still working with other jurisdictions as we speak. We're going to work on it throughout the evening. If we get anything else, I can guarantee you we'll contact you later if something, really important comes up.
Usually it will take a few minutes. They were in there for an hour. What exactly were they doing for that entire hour inside the house?
Well, I'm not going to release any more information on the investigation of what went on in the house. They were in there for a long time. There was a lot of conversation, but I'm not going to release anything else because that could have been our investigation.
Where do you go from here now with the car? You said there's pretty much not much you can get out of it.
We're going to just see what kind of leads they'll have to put their evidence together. They've been out since 2 o'clock last night or midnight last night, and all day today interviewing the family and processing the evidence. So we're just going to have to sit down and try to put all that together and see if we can come up with some leads.
Is there anything that the family needs from the community that we could start initiating for them?
I don't believe so right now. I understand that they've had a lot of family members and they've been well taken care of by the family.
How is the couple? How are those boys doing?
They're doing okay. I met them this afternoon and they seem to be doing fine.
What advice do you give to people? I mean, if they're in a situation like this, if someone actually, kicks in their front door and shoots through the window, what advice do you give in terms of protecting yourself?
Well, obviously, if you can get to a phone and call 911, that would be the very most important thing. These folks didn't have a chance to do that.
Are any of them injured?
No.
Which little boy was able to escape and, unlive in the rest of his family?
Do not know.
How do you describe his actions this morning? That he was able to...
I did not talk to him about that.
How do you describe his actions?
How do I describe his actions?
able to untie and get the rest of his family free so they could call 911?
Well, I told him he did a good job. Obviously, he was a pretty brave little guy. And but other than that, I didn't talk to him much. I just met him.
If a family finds itself in this situation, do they cooperate? Do they fight back? What should they do?
Well, when these people are armed, you know, you don't have a whole lot of opportunity to fight back. And our big concern with these three people is they're going to escalate. That would be typical, that they might escalate the violence. And so fighting back, I guess if the circumstances presented themselves that they could fight back, but when somebody's holding a gun and then they tie you up, you don't have not a whole lot of ways to fight back. So.
Were their hands tied behind their back? Were they duct taped? Was it rope? What was used to tie them up?
They were zip tied.
Hands behind their back? In front?
I can't answer that. I don't know.
Arms, ankles?
I don't have the answers to that. I don't know all the details.
Was the husband in the same room when the wife was sexually assaulted?
I don't know that either. And I'm not going to answer any more questions about those details because that really could hinder our investigation later. So I'd appreciate it if you just, we're going to leave it at that for right now.
You mentioned all of the entire family was tied up. They were blindfolded. I mean, obviously there was 3 suspects that went into this home. Did someone see anyone? Did they see that they had gloves on? Did they see anything as these?
No, it was dark. They had some kind of masks on, but they couldn't tell.
So no way, no possible even description to possibly identify for anybody out there to even look out
No,
for.
dark clothing and masks.
Did this seem well thought out, or did it seem that it just happened all of a sudden? Did one suspect go in one room, one suspect go in the other, and a lookout?
I don't know that. I don't know all those details. And besides that, as I said, I don't want to give you information that might interrupt or interfere with our investigation.
What kind
I
of
don't know
weapons
that
were
anyway.
taken at the home?
Pardon?
You said 3 weapons were taken. What type of guns were they?
Handgun or rifle and shotgun.
Were they standard guns or
I don't
collectibles?
know. I don't have that information.
Do you know what kind of gun they used? There was obviously a bullet
All I
fired.
know are handguns. That's all I know at this point.
And do you know if one suspect had a gun or if all 3 had weapons?
I don't have the answer to that. I don't know that.
They did have weapons.
They did have weapons, yes. I can't tell you if all 3 of them had weapons. I don't know that.
Are you sure there's 3 suspects? Or
Pardon?
is it just 3 suspects? that
As
are
far as
looking
we know, yes.
for? Men, all men.
We believe so, yes. Just from their book.
How does the seriousness of this crime compare with other crimes that been
Well, that's pretty out of the ordinary for our area. We have break-ins, and we've had some break-ins this summer where some weapons were involved, but nothing to this extreme or this kind of violence.
in the area where the crime occurred? Have there been other break-ins recently?
Not that I'm aware of.
You said the family's doing okay. I mean, pretty shaken up. You talked to them briefly. Were they emotional? Were they shaken up?
I did not talk. I only talked to the 2 boys. I did not talk to the rest of the family. So yes, I understand that they're obviously upset.
Is there any way you can give us a closer location of where this car was found? So we can get along what street or on the highway?
Off of Union Road. I'm not familiar with that area. So Lost Nations is a big unit. It was down by a small lake. That's about the best I can say. I'm not familiar with that.
How far away from the road was it?
I can't tell you that either. I haven't talked to the officer that was out there.
So you don't know if it was a good distance away?
No, I don't know.
Can you say the
I know that they found it at the bottom of. He did tell me that they found it at the bottom of some stairs that go down to a lake, some steps. I don't know what they were made out of, but intentionally put it down.
So it seems like they just drove it down there,
Probably.
trying to maybe get down to the bottom of the lake?
Probably down to that particular area. I don't know why they would pick that area. Maybe because it couldn't be seen. I wasn't there at that scene, so I don't know exactly. But it was pretty obvious they knew the area.
Was there a block or something on the gas pedal on the gas to put it down there, or if they jumped in?
I don't know. And I'm not sure that the block that's pretty much burned up, so I'm not sure that. But I think it maybe had been drove down from the description that the lieutenant gave me when he was at the scene. But I can't stand here and tell you that for sure. I don't think it was just pushed over the edge of anything.